Hey guys, it's OSK here. Welcome back to another Spellbreak guide video. In this one, I wanted to quickly cover the changes made to the Toxic Gauntlet after its rework in release 0.22. There have been some pretty major changes to damage calculation in this rework, and without further delay, let's see what changed with everyone's favorite tool of toxicity. So the first thing you'll notice is that with every spell cast with the Toxic Gauntlet, you will now fling 10 projectiles instead of 4 like previous patches. As a result of this, you will see that this makes for a more consistent spray pattern of both projectiles and poison puddles that are left behind after casting. The width of the spray has not been altered to any noticeable extent. Rather, it's the number of projectiles within the spray that seem to have been changed. Projectile speed has not been changed either. This next part is where the most important change to the Toxic Gauntlet really shows itself, and that is in the damage calculation. Instead of each poisonous projectile dealing equal damage and adding up organically like before, the Toxic Gauntlet now works with a hit threshold system. Each threshold that is hit adds up to a specific amount of damage that you will get with each cast. The thresholds are 1 hit, 3 hits, 7 hits, and finally all 10 hits. I have put the damage values for each threshold for each rarity of the Toxic Gauntlet up on the bottom part of the video, so please feel free to pause and read them if you're interested. Now let's talk about the implications of this change in your normal Spellbreak gameplay. As far as hits and spray patterns go, the Toxic Gauntlet is now much more consistent. This means that if you are close enough and you aim well enough, you are much more likely to hit all projectiles you should, and you aren't so reliant on a good spray pattern. This is very good, and I applaud this change very much. What I do not applaud, however, is the way the threshold system is set up for damage calculation. As a fellow toxic gamer myself, I use this gauntlet quite a bit, and a lot of times when I get into an encounter, I find myself hitting a lot of 5 to 6 hits with the gauntlet. This means that I am not hitting the 7 hit threshold, and therefore I'm not getting anywhere near that amount of damage. The reason for this is that the thresholds of damage are not additive, meaning that if I hit 6 projectiles, I'm not getting the 3 hit threshold twice. This means that if I get 6 hits, I'm only credited with 3 hits, which is half of what I actually managed to hit. This is a big problem, and it significantly affects your damage output. In fact, the difference between 3 hits and 7 hits on a legendary Toxic Gauntlet is 20 and 45 damage respectively, so I'm missing out on more than twice the amount of damage that I received based on 1 missed hit. I'd like to see the damage calculations change to include more thresholds for this reason to account for this problem. As for hitting the 10 hit threshold, it is very difficult in actual gameplay unless you're almost touching your opponent, which means you're likely only going to be hitting the 7 hit threshold, which means you're going to be missing out on a lot of damage. Yet another reason why I'd like to see the damage thresholds changed. In other news, the Toxic Projectile now powers through lightning and frost spells. Overpowering lightning is great, but frost may need to be changed. Other changes I'd like to see are increased projectile speed and increased cast speed. With the current patch significantly nerfing kiting and omnidirectional movement, the cast speed buff may have to wait, but as it is currently, the Fire Gauntlet eats a lot of the projectiles cast by the Toxic Gauntlet, and it makes fire arguably a better close-range option due to this fact. If the interaction is to stay the same in the future, I'd like a cast speed increase to compensate for this imbalance. But anyway, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed making it, and thank you for watching all the way up to this point. This is a relatively short video, only covering some confusing concepts with the Toxic Gauntlet in the recent patch notes, and longer videos will be coming out to cover more comprehensive topics. But anyway, if you'd like to support the channel, you can leave a like if you liked the video, and also subscribe for future guides and tutorials. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter and join the Discord for more updates. Alright, that's going to do it for me. Have a great day, and I'll see you all later.